Hello, welcome back to 2 Hours the Hard Way. I'm Ricole.
And I'm Rhonda.
In today's topic, we're going to talk about grown children living in the home with you. When is it time for them to get out the nest? What would you think? For me, I don't want my grown children living with me. I feel like I have instilled enough values and independence and show them everything that they need to do to be successful adults.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you allow, and now don't get me wrong, the way that if they don't have a great paying job or rent prices are ridiculous nowadays. So I understand them maybe not being able to afford the best of the best. But I also feel like they need to learn how to strive to get those things as well. I feel like, no, I don't want my child to be in the hood, but I may help them if I'm able to help them, but not enable them, if that makes sense. But I don't want my 30-year-old staying with me. She need to come home and stay with me because she was going through something and she had a 6-month plan and we could work that out. But and on and on and on for the rest of her life. No, I don't want, because I never went back. I think that's something I prided myself on. Once I moved out of my mom's house, I never went back. And I had a situation where I should have went back, but I ended up moving in with a best friend and stayed with her for 6 months till I was able to get on my feet. And then I got my own place again. Now, okay, I'll take that back. It was twice, because one time when I lost my job at Nationwide, I didn't have a job. And so I could have went home, but I was already in a lease. And my mom provided and she did pay all my bills. I was fortunate to have her pay all my bills for 6 months. And then I got myself together and then that was it. So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think my home for my kids and my parents' home for me and my siblings the doors are always open if needed. Now, do I want them saying this is going to be my home for the rest of my life? No, I do want them to get out but if they need to come home for whatever, because they had a bad breakup, because I don't know, money's funny, or they just want to reset, yeah, they can come. I went back home several times to reset. Either it was a breakup or I never had a job issue, but just, a breakup or wanting to reset, I went back home. Now, I do believe if the kids are home, and I still call them kids, even though they're grown, in my mind, they're still my kids. So, I don't want you staying for free. Like, you have to, you cannot stay and not work. If I'm getting up at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and working, you're getting up going somewhere.
Absolutely.
So you just can't sleep, and you can't play video games all day and not work. You have to work, and you have to either pay some type of rent. And my rent for my kids, my stepkids it was always cheap, because my goal is, if I take too much from you, then how are you really saving to get out on your own? Mm-hmm. But I want you to understand there's nowhere you can stay for free.
Absolutely.
So I just feel, I don't mind if my kid, if I had one of my kids called me right now and said, "Mom, can I come? Sure." Now, if they come with a plan, that's better. But I just had a son here. He was probably here. It wasn't a year. It was almost a year, maybe 8 months, 9 months. It was close to a year. But when he came, he had that plan. "Mom, I'm not trying to stay there. I just need to reset." And he did just that. I think he could have planned a little better and reset a little faster, but my door is open for him. So
I'm not saying that my door is not open, but what I'm saying is, And maybe because I've got burnt several times. Not just from my children, just from other people.
Yeah.
And people have this perception of me in my home that that I could afford or I could take care or whatever they have this idea of. And so I've kind of gotten burnt behind that. And so for me, I feel like you said, you have to pay something. I am, 50 years old and I work 2 jobs. And if I can get up and go to work every day and work 2 jobs, then I also feel like you can get up and go do something. So when I come home, it pisses me off when someone's laying around my house, eating my food, wasting my electricity, running my water, flushing my toilet, using my toilet paper. And you have not put shit in my house. So that bothers me. So for me, I think that's where I am like, no, I feel like grown kids need to learn. Because like, people want to say, oh, I'm grown, I could do this, I'm grown. But at the end of the day, are you really? Because are you providing for yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? You're not. So you're not grown. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I have the issue with, because, and it really, that's like a real thorn in my side. But I mean, my kids know, like, if they're going through something and they have to come home, I'm a sap most of the time, and she knows that. I'm going to say yes, but I will also put down ground rules. And then when I feel disrespected is when I have a problem. But like, if they had to come home and had to reset for a year, of course I'm saying 6 months. But if they had to reset for a year and we're getting along and it's smooth, I don't have a problem with it. And I'm coming home and you're going to work and we're both doing, and it's peaceful and there's no mood swings or no, I'm cool with it, because honestly, I like the company.
Right.
But if I feel like I'm walking in my own home and I got to tiptoe on eggshells, or I feel like I got to be, well, daggone, why the dishes ain't done? Or just, and then that's the thing too. Okay, say maybe you don't have a job and you doesn't have a job right away. Then I feel like you need to contribute in other ways. So the dishes should be clean. You at home all day. You should be not sleeping in the bed all damn day.
You're not staying with me sleep. You're not. It's not happening.
So that's where I struggle. I struggle really bad with that. And then and she knows, I will call her and complain, and I don't want to lose relationships or, with these people, because I allowed them to come stay with me. But as she tells me from the very beginning, I saw the end before it started, and I still jumped in it with fire on my pants and my butt on fire, just still jumped in there. And so, because I have so much confidence and expectation that these people are going to be different, and it is what they are. The people are who they are. And it's nothing, I'm not saying nothing bad about these people. It's just, you can't live with everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody's living is totally different. And so, I don't know. So I'm on the fence with that one, to be honest with you. Because I do understand completely where you are, but then it's like I said, I done got burned several times.
So yeah, I'm not saying my kids can just say, and none of them live with me, and they prefer not to. So I will say, even if they did come back, they prefer to be in their own place. And I don't blame them, because I went back to my mom's several times. I preferred to be in my mom. I had to pay bills, but I preferred to be in my own spot. So now
let me ask you this: when you paid bills, though, did she have a date that the bills had to be paid by?
I believe she did.
So if you were late, then what?
I wasn't late. My mom didn't play. My mom didn't play, and when my mom passed, I was still scared of my mom.
So I get that, but I feel like too, like if somebody gives you a bill If you was on your own, that bill would be due on that day.
Yeah.
So why do you feel that you could be leeway and just say, I'm going to do it when I feel like it?
I didn't do that. I did not with my mom. I didn't do that.
Well, and I've had several situations of people doing that too. So again, that's why I'm like, no. I think, once I get free and clear I don't want nobody else staying with me.
I get it. Because you've put up with a lot.
I know I have.
You've allowed a lot.
I have. And it's not just one particular person. It's several people. So it's not, if anybody watches, I'm not particularly talking about you. I'm talking about several different people. So it just, and and I already knew. You already know. You see those red flags, kind of like in a relationship. You see those red flags, and you just be trying to give people chances, and then so it is what it is.
Yeah, but and I don't know. I cannot. If my kids needed a place to stay, because they couldn't maybe they just couldn't get their own. Could I watch knowing my kids were in their car? Or
no,
I couldn't.
No, I'm not saying
that. No, I'm not. I'm saying you are saying. I'm just saying I can't. I could not.
But I don't want to be. Some of those parents. I feel like there's parents out there that prefer for their children to live with them. I know a couple in particular that prefer or make excuses about their grown children living with them. And my problem with that is, when something happens to you, what skills do they have to survive on their own?
Yeah.
If you're cooking, cleaning, and paying all the bills for them, what happens when something happens to you? Then what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because you haven't taught them anything.
Yeah. Nor
do they know the stress that comes along. And sometimes it's good, healthy stress to know, oh, shoot, I don't have the money for this bill. Or, you know what I'm saying? So how do maybe I need to pay half now or pay half next check. Be able to figure those things out for themselves.
Yeah.
Those are good skills to have.
Not DoorDash today because I really don't have the
right.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
So. You're not staying with me and not doing anything. You're not staying with me and not paying something. And when I said I was $25 a week, that's $100 a month.
For what? That's your bill?
That was my bill.
For the kids?
For the kids.
Oh, yeah, you cheap.
And yeah,
that ain't my bill.
Because again, I'm like, if I take $200 or $300, I don't want you to come to me saying, but I really couldn't save because I could.
Yeah,
but I wanted to make it. I don't know. I wanted you to pay something and still save at the same time.
For me, mine was not no $25. Mine was $300. And the reason and on somebody else who was getting assistance with it, it was $600 because they paid $3 out their pocket and the other person paid $3. They didn't live with me, but the other, they had assistance to pay that like half their rent or whatever. So the reason for that was because you've come to stay with me. I can survive on my own, and I know what my bills are: my electric, my gas, my shower, taking showers. But now you've increased all that for me.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not.
And $25 is not helping on no water, gas, and especially now where I stay at.
Yeah.
But that ain't doing nothing for me. So no, you need to, because why should I have to take the brunt of it? If that means you have to stop. Say your kids come staying with you. I'm just say it was one of my daughters or whatever, and just hypothetically they wanted to get their nails done while they were staying with me, and they couldn't make their rent payment. Well, then that means that your nails don't need to be getting done because you can't pay your bill. So I don't feel like I should be making it too comfortable for you.
I get that. I get it. But they still rather pay what they paying, because the $25, like I said, they'd still rather be in their own spot.
Right, I get that.
Mine anyway. I don't know about anyone. I don't know, like you said, people do prefer their kids to stay. And some, I know 40, 50, 60s.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Grown people living in people's basements. I'm not, no. No, no. Now, if my parent was sick or something to that extent, yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. But no, I don't want to live with my mom. We bump heads because we're two grown women and no, I don't want to do that. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's
Yep. And then I think too, like so my dad is my only parent living. If something were to happen to him and then I still ran into an issue, I believe my brothers would not. My brothers would be like, I'm not watching my sister struggle like that. If I called them, if I needed them. And I don't know. Because even my stepkids, I was like, I really don't want to see them like that. You know, if they had to go out and be on, but they have their dad. He's a no play man. He don't play.
But no, you've allowed some to come, but then they've burned the bridge. And that's another thing. You've come and you've burnt the bridge. You can't now expect me, because now you put yourself in another situation and now you want me to extend the olive branch again. That's not going to happen, because how many times do I allow you to keep walking on me?
Yeah.
So, and that's why he's the way. No.
Yeah.
Because they burnt the bridge.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I mean, and I'm that's just me though. And but I just, I don't know. Oh, I just can't say. Nope, can't stay here. Well, where are you going? I just can't do it. I can't do it.
So what they gonna do when you pass away?
I don't know. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about.
I'm talking about any of them. What they gonna do?
So hopefully, I'm here for another.
60
years,
Lord willing. Yes, of course.
They're in their 50s, and so hopefully they're. I mean, right now they're cool. So. They're doing cool. And I'm hoping and praying that they remain that way.
I mean, I get it. I totally get it.
But I mean,
and I think too, when you do go back home, you have to have that respect, and you have to humble yourself. And a lot of kids want to come in with their egos and again, I'm grown and I could do, and I get that, but. For me, you're not going to run in and out my house like it's a hotel, because I get up early in the morning, and I'm not saying, so just respect me enough to say, hey, if you're not going to be in before I'm ready to go to bed, then say, I'm staying out tonight, because I don't want to be, because I sleep light when somebody's staying with me, then I'll be here listening for the door to open and making sure you came in and all that. So for me, I just feel like it's got to be respecting the rules. And a lot of times, kids don't want that because they're grown and they want to be able to come in and go and do what they want throughout the night.
So yeah, when my last son that was just here and left, he was here with his daughter. And another reason why I think they like being on their own, like I don't want to really stay with my mom, because you can't bring just anybody to no one's spending the night at my house. I don't care how old you are.
Well, they ain't even spend the night. You can't bring people to my house. So I'm very funny about that. Like, I don't want every Joe Smo to know where I stay at, or nor to come in my house and see the things that I got, because you might think that person's your friend, and then they come back and rob me.
Yep.
So no.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, they were like, oh, you got no. So, you just you can't trust people nowadays. People are just weird and crazy. So, and not everybody's your friend. So,
and you don't want
everybody know where you stay at.
And you want to protect the energy that's in your house. So
Absolutely.
If you let just anybody in, that's energy that's coming into your house.
Absolutely.
And if they are filled with bad, negative energy, now you got to figure out how to get that energy out of your house.
Absolutely.
Sage in corners and stuff. I'm serious. Like
Absolutely.
You have to protect.
Yeah, and I think that's more so where I'm at this age. I want peace. Like I want peace in all aspects of my life. And it doesn't mean that, like, if me and you don't get along or whatever, it doesn't mean that I don't love you or still want to hang out with you every now and then. But I just know the line that I got to draw, that I'm like, okay, I can only probably be with that person about 20, 30 minutes. Because, like you said, that energy.
Take them in doses.
Yeah. And so, yeah. That was pretty good, because I know that, I've been burnt a couple times. But thank you very much. We like to know, what do you do? Do you have your grown children staying with you? Do you feel like there's an age limit that you cut them off? Do you, or do you feel like, hey, you're grown at 18 and you need to get out and figure it out? What are your thoughts and viewpoints on that?
Yeah, and that's what we didn't touch on, though. Do you say at 18? Because, and they also, I don't know where I read this at, but they said the Black community is big on, when you turn 18, you gotta go. And we're so quick to push our kids out, when you have the other cultures they allow their kids to stay longer. And then I think I want to say, I'll have to look it up, but I think they say when you let your kids stay longer, they do better. Not forever. I'm just saying it's longer than trying to push them out at 18.
And so I could touch on that. I would agree on that, because I'm also, I have been a foster parent, and the state is big on throwing them out at 18. And I've advocated for plenty of youth that stayed in my home to stay beyond 18, because I knew that they were mentally not ready, or they hadn't graduated high school, or they didn't have, just wasn't ready. And so I do agree on that. But if you have a child that is wanting to push, that I'm grown, and they think they're grown, then that's kind of a tug of war situation. So
yeah. So no, I didn't push mine out. And like I said, my door was as long as they were respectful and paid their little rent that I had for them.
$25. I'm about to move in with her for $25.
It's just hey. But I never had a problem with them either, in being here either. So I think my oldest did leave. My oldest has not been since he moved out. He ended up going to the Job Corps, and he hasn't been back to my house. So he probably said, and at that time I did say, look, you have two options. You can either go, you go into the Job Corps, but you getting out of here. And so I did but I wouldn't have put him on the street. Like, I wouldn't have done that. But I wanted him to really grow up. And he chose the Job Corps, and that's what he did. Yep. So no, I wouldn't. And I know some people do. At 8, I can't wait till you. And then you got the kids that, I can't wait till I turn 18.
Just a bunch of them.
I can't wait. And now you see, I wish I could go back home.
And that's what I tell my grandson. I was just talking to them last week about that. I'm like, don't rush. It is not all that you crack. I understand that your parents are getting on your nerves. I understand you don't want to hear them hollering. I was telling my grandson and my niece. But it is not all that you think it is. Like, it really isn't. If I could rewind and go back, I would. If I could sit there and enjoy coloring and just being a kid, really enjoy being a kid, knowing what I know now, I would go back and just start over and start new and do a whole different thing. So, but they do. It's such a rush to get grown, and it's no fun. Adulting is not fun. Not fun at all.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.